Happy International Zine Month! Today is day 27 and the prompt for today is flip. For me, that meant flipping through old trashy magazines to unearth the poetry within. When I told my grandma that I was collecting old magazines to make zines with and to start collecting a stock of materials to use for our coin-operated press workshops in the hopefully not too distant future, she unloaded a ton of old magazines on me. I can always count on my grandma to come through for me when I need to upcycle art supplies. Sadly, my grandma reads trashy magazines. I don't want to call her out too much, but I wish she would read less of the miserable so-called women's interest magazines. They're so depressing and perpetuate the very worst of what it is to be a woman. As if we all have the same interests. They're certainly not in my interest. I'll need to get her subscribed to some awesome zines and fill her reading time with fantastic small artist content. But for now, I'm going to turn these awful magazines into art. I decided to challenge myself by blindly flipping through the pages and landing on something random. From the single page that I landed on, I would have only the text on that page to work from to create my poetry. I then flicked back through the magazines at the end to find some images that corresponded with the poetry, and I used them to create accents and decorations to my zine pages. It was a fantastic challenge to force my creativity to work a little differently from my usual patterns of art making. And while a tad overwhelming at times, I really got into it. The poetry I created is neither good nor bad, but with the zine, it was the process that was the most important part. I mean, I would never have created a poem about Paul Hollywood otherwise. I'd highly recommend you try this method if you're having art block. It's really great for visual artists and writers alike. To finish off, I photographed my zine and digitised it in Photoshop, and there I printed it out. I then cut and folded it into little zines, and I listed them into my store. If you want to check my poetry out and grab your own copy of Flip, it's listed in my store, and I will pop the link to that in my description below. For now, I'll give you a little sneak peek to one of the poems. This is the first poem that I made, and I think it's my favourite because it's just really stupid. Looking back at the beginning, I was quite naive. I'm going to sound like a twit now, but I don't care. I've also learnt so much more. Positive statements. I feel like I've massively educated myself. I feel better than ever. It's still bloody exhausting. My acting skills are on point. So you're quite the thespian? I don't know, I've never heard that word in my life. Like, Thor's mate or something? That was taken from an interview with some celebrities that I have no idea who they are, and I just thought it was hilarious and a little bit dumb, so I put it together into a poem. But you'll just have to grab your own copy of the zine to read more of my random poetry. For now, do hit that subscribe button if you want to see more zine related videos from me and more art content. But that's all for now, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!